welcome here to more Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Coming up in today's video, and it is a big one, because we are going to be talking Champions League football, and we're going to be talking Barca's possible opponents for the round of 16 stage, because after we left ourselves with so much to do, finishing second in our group, losing in that way to Juventus, now what we're going to come up against is a strong team. All of that discussed, and what we can expect coming up today. So let's dive right in. And before we do move on to what that draw could hold for Barcelona and the big teams that we could be facing in the round of 16 stage, what I first all want to do is just very quickly recap on exactly how the group stage went, with it now concluded. Looking here at Group A, of course in that group there was no surprise that Bayern Munich topped the group considerably there with 16 points. Atletico there winning away at Salzburg on the final night in that group, which gave them there a very deserved second place and into the knockout round. Salzburg will drop into the Europa League, with Lokomotiv there finishing bottom of the group. When you move on though to Group B, it was all very much open until the very final minutes of the final match day there. All of the teams were still competing for that knockout place, but incredibly, in the end, even though for many of this Champions League group stage it has looked as though Real Madrid were very much on the verge of being eliminated, they've not only got through, but got through there as group winners, beating Borussia Mönchengladbach on the final day in that group, even though Mönchengladbach also will go through on the head-to-head record there against Shakhtar. They'll drop into the Europa League, and Inter, they are completely eliminated from Europe, just 6 points from this group. For them, so poor in the group stage. When it comes to Group C though, it was very much domination from both Man City and Porto in this group. Both of those teams going through to the round of 16 stage in really comfortable fashion. Olympiacos there will be in the Europa League, and it was a pretty unhappy return to the Champions League for Andre Villas-Boas' Marseille, and they will be eliminated from European competition. Another Premier League team topped their group in Group D, with Liverpool there just about edging it against Atalanta on the final day there. Liverpool drawing with Midtjylland, but that was enough there to see them top the group, and Atalanta just about getting the better of Ajax, who sadly will drop into the Europa League. Midtjylland will be eliminated, and that there is Group D. On to Group E, it was Chelsea who topped the group there ahead of the Spanish side, Sevilla. That was a really close group at the top there, with Sevilla and Chelsea really dominating the top of that group, and it was all about who was going to finish top. Eventually, it is going to be Chelsea, one of the teams that we could face in the round of 16 stage, with Krasnodar into the Europa League, and it was a pretty disappointing group stage for the Liga 1 side, Rennes. Group F was another one that for most of the group stage it was pretty tightly contested there with the top three sides. In the end, Borussia Dortmund have gone through after a final day victory there over Zenit in that group. Lazio will also progress there to the knockout stages. They finished on 10 points, just ahead of Club Brugge, who will drop into the Europa League. Zenit finish on just 1 point, a poor group stage for them. They are eliminated. Group G, of course, is a group that we know only too well, and in the end, like I say, somehow, even though going into the final match day it looked absolutely inconceivable that Barcelona would give up top spots, that's exactly what we did, losing at home by 3-0 to Juventus, and therefore missing out on the head-to-head record, even though we had a better goal difference. In third place, Dinamo Kiev beat Ferencvaros in the final match day to claim a place in the Europa League, with Ferencvaros being eliminated from European competition. And finally, in what was known there as the Group of Death, it was Group H, and in the end, Paris Saint-Germain and RB Leipzig had progressed, both of those teams there on 12 points, and it went down again very much so to the wire, because after a really good start in this group, Man United just fell away and they couldn't get themselves over the line, even though on the final match they were 3-0 down to Leipzig. They got it back to 3-2, but they couldn't get the point they needed, whereas Istanbul Başakşehir, they finished bottom of the group on 3 points. PSG and Leipzig, the teams who faced each other in last season's semi-final, they're both through to the knockouts. And when you put all of that information together, and when all of those group winners and the runners-up take themselves to the round of 16 stage, the picture for Barca has become very, very clear. Because these 6 teams right here are the teams that Barcelona could find themselves up against in the round of 16 stage. You've got Man City from the Premier League, Liverpool as well in there, Chelsea, you've got Bayern and Dortmund from the Bundesliga, and also Paris Saint-Germain amongst those teams too. And I think when you look in there at the calibre of each of those teams that could await us in the round of 16 stage, you pretty much understand what it means to finish second in your group. For many, many seasons now, we've been top of the group, we've been comfortably there through to the next round, and usually getting a more favourable round of 16 stage draw in the process. But right here and now, we've shot ourselves in the foot. We were top of the group, we should have finished top of the group, we didn't. Now we've given ourselves so much to do, but let's also look here, not only at who we could face, but who's most likely out of those teams. Because coming into the round of 16 draw, I think it's quite a common misconception that it's a completely random process and we have a perfectly equal chance of drawing each one of those 6 teams. But actually, it doesn't quite work out that way, because actually the probability suggests that each of those teams there, the chances of drawing them, they're each very different. Now, the reasoning for that is quite simple. It's the factoring of 2 different aspects there. Number one, obviously you cannot face any team in the round of 16 stage from your own group, so we cannot face Juventus in the next round. So that, of course, takes an effect on the chances of who we can draw. And also about the fact, of course, that at this stage of the competition, you also can't draw anybody from your own country. So that also limits us there in what we can do. And all of those variables combined actually mean that, as you can see, our most likely opponents in the round of 16 stage, oh, you just knew it was coming. You just felt it was coming. It's Bayern. It's Bayern Munich. And according to the probability, the second most likely team that we could face is the other Bundesliga side, Borussia Dortmund. And as you can see there, it is pretty much over 40% likely that we will draw a Bundesliga team in the round of 16 stage. The next likely is Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Liverpool, and according to the probability, Man City. That's the least likely team that we're set to draw. But honestly, guys, every single one of those 6 teams, they can cause us problems. Every single one is an almighty challenge in the first knockout stage. But let me know your thoughts. Which of those would you rather draw? I don't want to say like to draw, because I don't really think that you would actively seek out any of those teams to go and play. But if you had to pick one, who would you go with? I would personally lean there towards maybe Dortmund. I think also Chelsea, maybe if you're really pushing it. But at the same time, both of those teams this season have been in good form, and they do have at their disposal some very, very good players. The official draw will be made by UEFA on Monday. That's the 14th of December at 12 p.m. local time in Barcelona. That is there to look forward to, if you can say that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All of your reaction ahead of that draw. It's going to be a big team, and because we finished second, that's what we let ourselves in for. I will see you soon, guys, and I thank you indeed for watching. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.